සහභාගී වූ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ඉන්දීය මහකොමසාරිස් තුමා වෙනුවෙන් මේ අවස්ථාවට සහභාගී වෙන ආචාර්ය පාණ්ඩේ මැතිතුමා ආචාර්ය පාණ්ඩේ මහකොමසාරිස් මැතිතුමා වෙත ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනය කරනවා එතුමාගේ දේශනය ආරම්භ කිරීමට.
Ati Pujne Mahasangha, Chairman, Path Founder Foundation, former Minister, His Excellency Mr. Milind Moragoda and his team, Buddhist scholars, followers of Dhamma, students, ladies and gentlemen, Ayubowan Namo Buddhaya. It gives me immense pleasure to witness the relaunch of Namala today. To understand the essence of Dhamma, knowledge of the Pali language is essential. Just as for any language, understanding the intricacies of Pali grammar is key to learning the language itself. Let me therefore begin by bowing to the Venerable Sri Vaskaduwe Subhuti Mahanayaka Thero, a Pali scholar of great distinction who wrote this book in the 1800s. The fact that the relaunch of Namala is being done today with the support of my government makes me feel immensely blessed both at professional and personal levels. Government of India conferred Pali with the status of a classical language in October last year. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, during his remarks at the International Abhidhamma Divas, mentioned that it is our responsibility to keep the Pali language alive, to keep the words of Lord Buddha alive in their original spirit. The recognition of the Pali language as a classical language is to honor the great legacy of Lord Buddha. It is the language of the earliest Buddhist texts, such as Tripitaka. These texts encompass the message of Dhamma. In a world ridden with conflict, Dhamma leads the path to peace for humanity. Dhamma means the unwavering assurance of welfare for all humanity. Preserving Pali will enable the dissemination of the message of Buddha, in contrast to the destruction of Yuddha. In fact, here in Sri Lanka, Pali continues to be used in religious rituals, prayers, and ceremonies, given that it serves as the liturgical language in Theravada Buddhist practices. That was the reason that Sri Lanka was the first country to host a seminar on the importance of recognition of Pali as a classical language soon after the decision of the Government of India. Prime Minister himself noticed the initiation of discourse in Sri Lanka and thanked the scholars for joining the movement. Language, literature, art, spirituality, these treasures of a nation define its existence. The fact that Pali as a language has its origin in India and still thrives in Sri Lanka is another demonstration of our civilizational connect. The Buddha resides in the soul of Bharat as much as it does in soul of Sri Lanka. The symbols of Buddha were adopted as the symbols of Bharat at the time of independence. In fact, early last year, my High Commissioner laid the foundation stone for building of one of these symbols, the national emblem of India, the Ashokan pillar in Sri Lanka. I recall his first of his engagements in Sri Lanka with Most Venerable Vaskaduwe Mahindavansa Mahanayaka Thero in the ceremony at the Vaskaduwe temple, the temple that carries forward the legacy of Venerable Sri Vaskaduwe Subhuti Mahanayaka Thero. It is a blessing that Siddhartha transformed into Buddha after attaining enlightenment in India, to able to contribute to the preservation of Pali, to the understanding of Buddha's Dhamma. High Commissioner earlier this year has visited more Buddhist temples than any other of his engagements. This month, on Duruthapoya, we launched a series of mobile exhibitions of modern art depictions of Buddha's life and his teachings. We launched from the Mahabodhi Mahavihara in Colombo, recalling High Commissioner's conversations with Venerable Banagala Upatissa Thero I would like to share something that he said, which defined the India-Sri Lanka relationship beautifully. He said that though he has a Sri Lankan passport, his robe, his soul, and his dhamma are all Indian. And that, to us, is the foundation of our unbreakable bonds. India and Sri Lanka are united by dhamma. It is a fraternal relationship unlike any other. For anybody to be able to create differences between our two countries, they would have to break this link of dhamma, which is beyond the realm of possibility. We are inseparable, we are intertwined. We have taken several steps to continually deepen these links. Prime Minister Modi announced a special grant assistance of US dollars 15 million in the promotion of Buddhism between India and Sri Lanka in September 2020. Besides other initiatives under this assistance, we are currently in the process of establishing free solar electrification for nearly 10,000 Buddhist temples and pirivinas across Sri Lanka. After the Kushinagar International Airport was inaugurated in 2021, the first international flight to the airport was from Colombo, which carried close to 100 venerable theros from Sri Lanka, along with the Vasudeva relics for exposition in India. Public exposition of sacred relics from Sarnath and Sanchi in India have been held in Sri Lanka, which has been attended by millions of devotees. Numerous pilgrimage trips and special visits have been sponsored by India for devotees from Sri Lanka. We will continue with similar initiatives, focused on not only our interconnected values of Buddhism, but the limitless possibilities of a shared future. We are working to enhance connectivity, deepen economic engagement, upgrade trade and investment ties, further cultural and educational cooperation, expand tourism and people-to-people contacts. Sri Lanka is India's closest maritime neighbor and has been an integral part of India's neighborhood first policy and India's vision of Sagar. India has time and again demonstrated that it is a dependable partner and a reliable friend for Sri Lanka, whether it is natural disasters, mishaps at sea, the COVID pandemic, or the recent economic crisis. India has come to Sri Lanka's assistance always as the first responder. Our support has been timely, quick, and unconditional. This also demonstrates that we are a responsible and friendly neighbor of Sri Lanka. The recent visit of His Excellency President Dissanayake took this very robust partnership even further. President Dissanayake expressed his appreciation to Prime Minister Modi for India's support, especially the unprecedented assistance in the form of nearly USD 4 billion in various kinds of aid in 2022 and 2023. This was instrumental in stabilizing the situation in Sri Lanka at a critical juncture. India also remains involved in financial stabilization effort for Sri Lanka through its engagement with the IMF, which is undertaking a program for Sri Lanka following the debt restructuring that has been agreed to. India, as a co-chair of the Official Creditors Committee, continues to play an important role in assisting Sri Lanka through this challenging phase. You must have noted the discussion in the Sri Lankan Parliament on conversion of loans to grants by India in order to provide further fiscal headroom to Sri Lanka. We have extended USD 20.66 million as grant assistance to settle the payments related to 7 completed line of credit projects in Sri Lanka. Along with some others, like the project of rehabilitation of Kanke Saturai Harbour in the northern province, signaling project for the Maho-Anuradhapura railway line, more than 100 million USD of loans have been converted by India into grants. Today, India's grant assistance to Sri Lanka stands at USD 780 million. Out of these, completed projects are worth 390 USD million. Ongoing projects are approximately USD 211 million. And committed grant projects in the pipeline stand at nearly another USD 180 million. The total new assistance overall, therefore, is USD $391 million. If you take into account value proposition of Indian grants, we should be the principal development partner of Sri Lanka. From Dhamma to development, India remains committed to Sri Lanka with its best practices for fostering partnerships for our shared future. We look forward to your blessings and support in this endeavor. I would particularly like to comment and express our gratitude to His Excellency Mr. Milind Morogoda and Pathfinder Foundation for this very seminal initiative High Commissioner, you have in your tenure not just been a leader, singularly responsible leader of India-Sri Lanka partnership, but what we saw today is that you have made a seminal contribution to religious underpinnings, philosophical underpinnings between our two countries. With your contribution to this Namala and several other translations, when the book was being sold, your Pathfinder Foundation has distributed it free to schools. I think your contribution will be remembered, and it is our great privilege to have been modestly associated with your this initiative. We will stand by you in any such initiative as we stand together in Dhamma. Thank you.
වැඩවලන